Okay, so this is the second one. This one's called the broad wing flyer. You can see you're going to take the paper and you're going to do the same kind of thing you would do to make a square. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to take this corner. I'm going to pull it to the side here so it lines up on the side, and I'm going to go along so that I can end up with a point at the top. So I'm going to keep rolling it till that becomes a point, and I have it all lined up on the side. And then once I've got that to a point and that's straight along the side, I slide over and smooth the edge into a fold. So if you were going to try and cut a square out, you'd cut this part off here, but we're not making the square. We're just going to leave that like that. Then if you look at the picture, it says you're going to take this end and fold it down so you make a triangle top. So I'm going to take this end and I'll fold it down so it lines up in this corner. And again, I'm going to make sure the line on the side here, everything lines up. And I come to a point at the top here, and I'm sorry that I just bumped the camera arm and it's wiggling. And then slide down and make that nice and tight. Okay, so now I've got the first part there. Then the picture has that little swooshing thing, that means fold it in half. So I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to, again, line everything up the best I can, because the whole point is if everything's lined up neatly and evenly, everything's more balanced and the airplane will fly straighter. Otherwise, you get it turning because it's unbalanced. Okay, and then the next picture says, open it up and then fold the top down to where that extra layers of papers are. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to fold this tip down to here. Once I get it lined up with there, again, I work the fold over and voila. The next picture says fold it in half again, but this time fold the edge in so you get a little extra fold on the side. So I'm going to fold it in half again. Again, lining it up the best I can. And then I'm going to fold it like this. Just roll the edge in. So you can see I just took this part and just rolled it in a little bit. I'm going to need that to hold it when I throw it. All right. So now my picture says, open it up but not all the way. I want to fold. See, I don't know if you can see that little piece there, but I'm going to fold one part back and the other part. So this ends up being the part I can hold on to. So I'm going to pick it up by that fold and have this come down and just make it nice and tight. And you see these don't line up because I'm not opening it all the way, just that part. Then I'm going to turn it over so this side can fold along and it matches up like this now. The reason I've done that is that now becomes the part I hold to. Okay, almost done. If you look at the picture, now I need to fold parts up and I need to put some tape on. I'm going to put tape on the one side so that the top part doesn't flip-flap, and I'm going to put some tape to balance that. And then I need to fold up edges as well. So when I go to fold the edges up, I want to make them the same size. You can measure it and mark it. I'm going to just estimate it so it's easier for me. And I'm going to be using the width of my finger to estimate it. That's not quite straight. I'm folding it the width of my finger so that way the same on the side that way. Okay, so now I've got my flaps on the sides turned up. And now this one doesn't use a staple, it's just that tape. And see, I got to tape this end down, otherwise it peels up. I'm going to take a piece of tape. I'm going to come to the edge here, right near the fold. I'm going to put the tape on it to keep that down. Had to do the same thing on the other side. Try to use about the same size piece of tape so the weight is even. And again, I use the width of 2 fingers on this to figure out that, to try and keep that balanced. All right, and then we have one last piece of tape we have to do. We don't want this to open up while we're flying, so we're going to wrap tape around this nose part so that doesn't happen. So I'm going to do this right here and just close that off. All right, and now I've got my little flyer. I just had to make the bend better. Okay, Make sure my folds are tight. So now I've got two airplanes. I've got my narrow wing and I got my broad wing.